Hello, my name is Lala and Absolute, and today I am here with another video. Yet again, it is another art contest. Before I start the video, I just want to mention that there are timestamps in the description below, just in case you want to skip through to something else. A little about the art contest and where it's from is that it is from SpyFrontiers. It is an MCTV YouTube channel that I am a part of. Although I haven't been particularly active as of recently. That is because I have been busy with school as well as this channel that I've barely had time for. Luckily, it takes my bus about an hour to get me to school as well as from school to home. As well as the extra hour I get up in the morning so that I can make sure I'm awake before school starts. Really helps me out. And believe me, I needed every moment of that to get through this this art contest in particular. It took me a while to finish this. And at that comment, you're probably a bit confused. You're just doing a little bit of a profile pic, right? I mean, what else could this be? While you are correct that this is a profile pic, that's not the only part of the art contest. There are actually two parts to this art contest. The first is the profile pic, even if the order doesn't really matter here, so could be first or second. But also the server, the Discord server for the channel, needs a welcome banner. So that's why I'm doing the two art pieces instead of just the one. The profile pic itself didn't take very long, an hour at the very worst. I'm pretty sure it was a lot shorter than that though. The full welcome banner though, it took almost 18 hours. So there's that. Earlier I mentioned I'm part of the team, but I didn't use any resources outside of what any average viewer would know, just so that it would be fair, because an art contest isn't very fun if it's not fair, you know what I mean? And again, I haven't put very much time into the server, the Discord server, or the actual Minecraft server, so this art contest was a great way for me to put more time into the team when I haven't been able to for a bit. But I'll start talking about the profile pic now. This will probably be short considering how simplistic the profile pic is. I mean, it is only 100 by 100 pixels to be fair. So it is relatively simple so it can communicate what the server is without blurring it up too much. I knew I wanted to have the YouTube channel's name so that you can mentally, either consciously or unconsciously, connect the server and channel to each other. And part of why I designed this in like a circle is that Discord likes to crop profile pics into circles. So I made a plan for that, making sure that there was a gradient towards the middle of a different color to make it more interesting, and the film logo thing was also towards the middle so that it was front and center. It basically communicates that this is a studio. We make productions, hence the studio and productions part at the bottom too. Although I did make it darker so that it wouldn't take the spotlight from the main part, SpyFrontiers, because that is very important. It is how you identify what server this is. I got all of these down, and I also made sure that it got a little bit more interesting, a bit more complicated with more gradients. For example, SpyFrontiers glows so that it's more interesting. It would be a little bit boring if it was just plain text. It also helps blend it a little bit because the background right behind it is a sort of red, a gradient from black to red at least. It also happens to have a double, SpyFrontiers at least. Right behind it is kind of like a shadow. That is because the duality of what SpyFrontiers shows, like the productions, and then the behind the scenes and the staff itself. Then there's the cool rule. Add in if it looks cool and find an explanation later. And fun little detail for everyone who cares, there is like little demon horns on the dot of the eye in Frontiers. The echo eye, not the regular eye. It's meant to be more of a reference to the old logo that is being currently used. It will change later for whoever wins the art contest. Now we can move on to the welcome banner. I added the profile pic over the top of this so that it'd be like a stamp on top of the welcome banner. And it's unobtrusive enough that it can be cropped over with a different profile pic if a different one were chosen. I based the welcome banner off of a screenshot from the Twisted Assassins Falling Reality trailer. Well, the character chosen from there was, as I didn't want to do a redraw of a scene that was already done. Instead, I took what was publicly known about the map through episodes and simplified it down so that it would be a good little environment. The reason I specify public knowledge is that I don't want to have an unfair advantage, as that is not fun to have a competition where someone knows more than you do. Since I've been on this map multiple times now, I tried to combat my own knowledge of it by putting it in a weird perspective where it's not really realistic that it would look that way in that perspective. I also simplified it quite a lot because there's a lot more buildings than I'm showing here, and a lot more wheat than is also being shown, and also a lot more boats. Plan here was to have some grass kind of blend into the sunset sky, but I let it just be a thin line later on. There was a reason I specifically chose the guy with the blue scarf, and that was to juxtapose a sunset behind him, or well, in front of him technically, as well as make the welcome stand out more and be more of its own thing. I tried to make sure the piece looks unified by having the wheat, for example, as well as the flowers share the same colors as the sunset sky, because that is the main light source for the picture. But honestly, I think I spent a little bit too much time on certain places, example the wheat. I definitely spent a lot of time shading the wheat that I didn't really have to do. Honestly, I spent more on the water because I was having a lot of trouble with that. The main issue was that water often reflects the sky, and I don't normally draw orange yellow water. Definitely not enough to know how to instinctively draw it. Just means I will have to practice that more, perhaps do a study on that in the future. Mostly because it feels super natural to do blue water instead of any other color, and it's not usually under a non-blue sky, so that's very interesting to have to learn how to work with that. What it came down to for me was having like little white shinies as well as a darker same color. Like there was yellow and then there was orange, kind of darker color. And at this time of day, some people might be still awake, so that gave me an excuse to draw glowy windows. And finally, towards the end, I added some rays of the sun in to make it super shiny and super glowy throughout the whole picture. That's all I have to say on the process of the welcome banner. There's nothing really more to note on other than how long it took me to make this, almost 18 hours. But other than that, it's completely been talked about. The people on the server have been very, very kind to me. Even if I don't interact with them much, I'm still great friends with them, and I do want to interact with them more. Thank you very, very much for watching this and taking your time to actually listen to me. I highly encourage checking out SpyFrontiers if you haven't already, and also like, commenting, and subscribing to me. That was Lala Absolute on the SpyFrontiers art contest. Thank you for watching and have a great day!